This is Kitzur Yomi as we continue with the fifth parak in Kitzur, continuing to discuss when one is allowed to learn Torah, when one is allowed to say Berachos, etc. Says Sif Tes Zayin Kufa Yisha. Kol Makom Shedarko Liskasa is any place which is generally covered. In the Skala Sham Mashir Tefach. If there's one tefach of such an area exposed, v'chein sayrei shalisha nisua. Similarly, the hair of a married woman, which the derech is to cover in this galaxas mehem, if it's a little bit uncovered, chashiv k'may ervah legabe ish, it is considered an ervah for a man. What does that mean? It is considered forever for a man. That means that you would not be able to say brachos, you would not be able to learn Torah in an area that the tefach of a woman is uncovered, or if her hair is uncovered. On the bottom over here, note 69, it points out that a woman could keep up to a tefach. Of course, that is not the long way, that is not the width, but the length, and without having an issue. Does not make a difference. One cannot make brachos, one cannot learn in the area of Ervah. Again, on the bottom over here, they point out that if it's a minimal amount of some of the gufa isha uncovered, then one could, says the Mishnah Berurah, just close their eyes. Which of course would be the eitzah if someone's in a public setting and there could be someone that has some part of the body uncovered. So the Mishnah Berurah is being makel to cover one's eyes as long as it's only a drop of the guf. But for another woman, these areas are not considered to be erva. Again, the bottom they just point out that of course this is just klapi the brachos, but with regard to actually looking at such an area, it would be inappropriate. Call Zemer Miisha, the voice of a woman singing chashav ganking kamo erva mikomakum shesatchak. Shushamei Nashav is Zamra, so near his woman singing v'yevshel elimchas, and he cannot protest leisatum b'shem zem kriyish ma tefillah Torah. Should not miss out on Shema, Tefillah, or Torah. Ela Yisam Zecham Kolivai should try to have all his intention like Kedusha Uesik, but the Kedusha that he's dealing with. For example, someone's in a public setting and there's music playing, there's nothing he can do, and he doesn't want to miss Zman Kriyishma, etc. So what should he do? He should just be very careful to. He should try to focus on that which he is saying. Just don't want to gloss over a very quick halacha that we saw over here. That for a woman it's not a problem for her to make brachos, for her to potentially learn Torah if there is erva, or there is, if there's part of the body uncovered, or if there's hair uncovered. And we move on to Sif Yud Zayin Im Liboy Royas Erva Shaloi. If one's heart can see his own erva. For example, when it's fully undressed, even though he might be covered, he's under a blanket, he's wearing a robe, but there's no actual separation between the leave, the heart, and the erva. Avish Ervi Machus, like we just said, the erva is covered. He's wearing an unbelted robe. Gamkin Asal Lemer Kodav Shebekdusha cannot say Endeavor Shebekdusha. Ella, what does he do? And of course, this would be relevant. If someone just came out of the shower and he's wearing a robe, if someone is under covers without any clothing, Ella, what should he do? Sarlias Lavish Bechlasai, he has to wear pants. Shem Medubakam al Gufa, which is snug in his body. Oishi has a 8 bezer or put on a belt. Or, so now that's to put on clothing. Let's say one is not. So you could take your arms and you could put it across the body. Woman does not need this as long as her body is covered. She does not have this issue. The reason is, as long as she is sitting, the Mishnah says, because then her erva is going to be covered. So on the bottom over here, note 74, they pointed as well that he could take, either he could use his arms to separate, or he could take a blanket or something and press it against his body to separate bein liboy le'erva. We move on to the sixth parak in Kitzur. Says the Kitzur, Bracha. Before one says any bracha, he should know pretty obvious thing, but unfortunately, sometimes you make a bracha. Wait, what am I doing? So before you make the bracha, you have to know what you're doing. Now, why? Aside from the fact that you should know what you're doing, but says the Kitzur, so when you say the Shem Hashem, Baruch Atah Hashem, Shu Ikar HaBracha, big machlekes Rishonim, the Kitzur is basking. The Ikar HaBracha is the Shem Hashem. Yeda Mashi Yisayim, you should know what the bracha you are making. And therefore, you're having a cup of water, you should know you're making a shakol niyev dvaray. Says the Kitzur of Asur Lasa Shum Davar. You're not allowed to do anything else. On the bottom, they point out, the Mishmur says, even something that does not require attention, even something that you might be doing just with your hands, while you make a bracha. You have to be doing nothing while making a bracha. Let me hear us. You should not make a bracha quickly. You should have in mind that what you were saying. This is what the Sefer Chasidim says as follows. When you wash your hands, we're making a bracha on fruit or a mitzvah. Hashkuras would be kolad on bracha that you know very easily. Still, you have in mind that you're making the bracha for the sake of Hashem, who is very kind to you. And Hashem gave you this wonderful fruit. Hashem gave you this piece of bread. So you have that in mind when you're making the bracha. And He commanded you to make the bracha. So the basic kavanah, says the Sefer Chasidim, is what? To, number one, be cognizant of the bracha you're about to make. And number two, to have the thought, to kavanah, to thank Hashem who is kind to you, that allowed you with this food that you're about to eat. You should not perform any part of the bracha. Like you're doing something habitually, without any thinking. And continues, the Kitzur was about this, that Hashem got angry. And he sent Yeshaya Navi, the nation is close to me, and with their lips, their mouth, they honor me. But says Baruch Hu, with their heart, unfortunately, they're far from me. And unfortunately, they act and they do things out of rote. Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu Yeshaya, Rei Ma'aseh b'ni, look at the actions of my children. Ki einu ela lefanim. They only do things externally. Umachazikim ba. They do all the mitzvahs. Ka'adam shemachzik v'noyig minhag avosa b'yadav. Like you do, just like your father did it. Perfunctorily, you just do it. You're not thinking. They come to my house. They come to shul. Tefillos like vuais, and they daven. Kiminhag avosayim, just like their fathers always did. Lo believe shalem. But now with their heart, they clean their hands for eating bread. And they make brachas. Shaisim, when they drink mavarch, they make brachas. But unfortunately, it just rolls off their lips. Unfortunately, the words of the Navi Yeshaya are quite relevant. How many of us, unfortunately, yes, we make brachas, yes, we go daven, but where is the leiv, or are these all external actions? Hashem got angry. The wise men to lose their wisdom. Those who know Hashem, says Hashem, I'll continue to perform the wonders upon wonders. Says Chazal, Gemara Nadarim, Asei Devarim L'Shei Pa'alam. Two things for the sake of Hashem, Ad Kan L'Shainai, such as the words of Sefer Chasidim, penetrating words. How careful we have to be to have a bit of kavanah when we make a bracha. For a person should accustom himself. Say a bracha aloud. Why? Because saying a bracha aloud brings out the kavanah. Continue with Sifeis, when you make a bracha, you should have no spit in your mouth. You should have nothing else in your mouth. You should not have a piece of gum. You should not have a toothpick. You should not have anything. My mouth should be filled with praise. And we continue with Sif Gimel Asalaitzi Shem Shamayim Levatal. You can't say Shem Zim in vain. Chalmotzi Shem Shamayim Levatal. Over al mitzvahs asay d'chsev es Hashem lekecha tira uchsev. Mlos Yishmar liyeros Hashem enechvad anayra. Zel mechal yir. It's fear to not say Hashem's name in vain. Shlolatzke Shmei Gadol Kim b'derech Shabach. Only say Hashem's name as a praise. Uberacha b'mashu mechuyev, or as a bracha, the way that you're obligated. Oy b'derech limud, or in a form of learning. But not stop to say Hashem's name, v'yira, one should feel fear of his dazeya ivarav, and his limbs should tremble. But shashu maskir Hashem yisbarach shemai, when he says Hashem's name, avaloi loitzi chas v'shalom levatala, not to say it in vain. V'loi shem yuchad b'lvan, not only the shem yuchad, I'll call Hashem as yuchad, Hashem yisbarach, any name of Hashem. And continues the Kitzur. V'lo levad b'lo sh'nai kodesh aser. Ela afilu b'chol loshain aser in any language. It is aser on the bottom. They quote the famous Rav Moshe Feinstein that to say God in English or Gott in Yiddish is as well forbidden to say in vain. One can't just say the word for no reason. V'makalas chavero is asked if someone curses his friend or himself. Shmei Yisbaracha b'kinu or other name of Hashem. What's a kini? Mashem mishabche b'Hakadosh Baruch Hu. K'may Agadol Agibar v'Neira Neman. Adir Chaz like Amitz Izos Chanon Rachom Koner Chapayim Rav Chesed. B'chol lashon in any language. Chayim Malkus. In order, if you use Hashem's name as a curse, one is Chayim Malkus. V'V'Neseinu Aramim continues the Kitzur. Roy v'Amoini Amin and Nizarim, incredible words. The majority are not careful. V'Omer v'Lashon Ashkenaz. Gut zol hittes streifen. Hashem shall punish. Uchadayim ha'vayvim b'zeh. Allah shall Torah. If you say God shall punish, you're over in Allah because you're cursing with the name of Hashem. If you curse out the name of Hashem, or if the curse is only inferred, let so and so not be blessed by Hashem, still, therefore, or likewise, because of the covenant of the name of Hashem, Aser, it's not right in any letter the name of Hashem Cholasha and V'Ravim time many make this mistake because it's Shvayisvarach Lashon Ashkenaz. They write the name of Hashem Lashon Ashkenaz, and we refer back, like we said, writing God or God. Or Shekaisin name is Idia. They write the name Idiu V'Zel Lashon Sarfas will be Im Hashem. Fu Iser Gomer to write the name of Hashem in vain. Kilachar Zmani is Kagula Mechtab Ashba. Why? Because the letters didn't go in the garbage. This causes poverty. Mashashem Shamayim Matsu, the fact that Hashem's name is lying around. Says the Kitzur, we got to utilize our brain, we got to utilize the effort to stop people just writing Hashem's name for no reason and having the bizayon which causes aniyos. If someone has spit in his mouth and he's in the middle of saying a bracha, yarik techila, spit, vacha, yemers Hashem. V'lo yemers Hashem vacha yarach. V'chein kishem menashik is a sefer, so it's kisik a sefer yarik techila. V'lo yachar kach. Shoreit zelaskes Hashem, yemer tevas Hashem. V'lo yikoshtam me'aman v'amer adoi Shem. Don't say adoi Shem. Why? Because there are kavod shal mayla. Rather, you should say Hashem. So many incredible halachas how to make a bracha. The care of the Shem Hashem. We'll pick it up from here. B'siyata Dishmaya.